first meeting is the Seminole Airport Authority. Roll call.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
Bill Wantland.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
Gary Howe.
Here.
John Kramer. Chris Anson.
Here.
Susan Hammond.
Here.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Bill Wantland.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Gary Howe.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Susan Hammond.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Airport Authority? If not, there being no other business, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Next, we come to the Seminole Gas Authority. Roll call.
John Kramer. Susan Hammond.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
Bill Wantland.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
Gary Howe.
Here.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
Consideration action consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
John Kramer. Susan Hammond.
Okay, what are we doing? Roll call? Here.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, okay.
Or
Dee Dee.
no, as the case may be.
Okay.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Bill Wantland.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Gary Howe.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
1 minute into this thing and we've already
We're
lost control.
lost. We're lost.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Gas Authority? If not, there being nothing else on the agenda, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. That brings us then to the Seminole Utilities Authority. Roll call.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Susan Hammond.
Here.
Bill Wantland.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Gary Howe.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
Consideration action consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second. Roll call.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Susan Hammond.
Yes.
Bill Wantland.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Howe.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Utilities Authority? If not, we move on then to the next item on the agenda, bids. Number one, consideration and possible action to approve the low bid of $118,300 from the UV Doctor for the disinfection system at the wastewater treatment plant, a budgeted item of the Series 2006 Revenue Bond Funds.
So Mike, would you mind coming up and explaining what this does? Will this, does this have anything to do with when we had our odor problem? No. Okay. So, all right. Good answer.
Any other questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Susan Hammond.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Bill Wantland.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Howe.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number two, consideration and possible action to approve the DEQ permit to construct for the construction of 1,067 linear feet of 6-inch PVC water line on 8th Street. Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Susan Hammond.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Bill Wantland.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Howe.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
There being no further business, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. So ordered. That brings us then to the Seminole City Council. Call that meeting to order. Roll call.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Bill Wantland.
Here.
Susan Hammond.
Here.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Gary Howe.
Here.
John Kramer. Jeff Griffin.
Here.
Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Isagalmesi miska hangagi udai, pumukasaka ni kwichi de mado moment potolofa Seminole, moment po istia mogan, idinokichikidis, moment chimi isagalmesi anogitskas. O God, whose mercies cannot be numbered, accept our prayer of thanks for the city of Seminole and for all our people. Let us love one another, for you, God, are love. Amen.
Amen.
We then have elections and appointments. Number one, consideration and possible action to approve a charter review committee comprised of the following members: Martin Barrett, Dolores Jones, Susan Hammond, Dee Dee Patterson, Neil Craig, Perry Robertson, and Gary Adams.
Mr. Vice Mayor, we don't have to have a roll call vote, but we need to take each one individually.
All right, we'll take each one individually on a yay or nay. So the first is Martin Barrett.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Dolores Jones.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Susan Hammond.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, or all in favor? Opposed, so ordered. Dee Dee Patterson.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So ordered. Neil Craig.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perry Robertson.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Gary Adams.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Have fun, committee members. I had the privilege of serving on the board that drew up the charter back 100 years ago. Number two, consideration and possible action regarding designating Steve Saxon as the City of Seminole's official representative to the Central Oklahoma Economic Development District Board of Directors.
Motion to approve. Second.
Is there a proviso that he can't wear orange and black? Roll call, or that could be we just do a yes or no vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Number three, consideration possible action regarding designating Sharon Emmett as a proxy to Steve Saxon on the Central Oklahoma Economic Development District Board of Directors should Mr. Saxon not be available.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Consideration and action of the consent agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Gary Howe,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the city council? If not, then we move into current business. Number four, consideration and possible action to approve acceptance of an $8,847 grant from the District Attorney's Council for the Seminole Police Department for the purchase of body cameras and appurtenances. Don't ask what the appurtenances are.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call?
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Absolutely.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Gary Howe,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Number five, consideration possible action to approve the installation of a panic button at the Seminole Public Library at a cost of $100 plus $25 per month to monitor the alarm. I might say that this was brought to my attention by Marilyn Stewart, who's going off the library board for the protection of the library staff there. And we discussed that with the city manager, who said that he would see that it got on the agenda today.
Yes, I think it's well needed in the library. Now, we used to have one for Jay, but he pushed it about 6 times a day. We had to pull that thing out. So, but no.
Could we transfer that one over? Motion to.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Houk.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Number 6, consideration possible action to approve the agreement for administration of the sales and use tax ordinances, a new agreement replacing separate sales and use tax agreements currently in place. Among other provisions, the new agreement brokered with the Oklahoma Tax Commission by the Oklahoma Municipal League reduces the administrative fees retained by the state from sales and use taxes due to cities and municipalities. More money.
More money.
I've
A
read
little
that
more.
6 times and I still don't understand it. Can you explain that, Mr. Saxon?
Jay probably has a better handle on it than I do. If you want to take a shot at it, I'll step in.
Okay. The Oklahoma Tax Commission did work through the Oklahoma Municipal League for us to adopt. We have a sales and use tax ordinance that has to be adopted through this agreement, more or less. That has been revised to reduce the fees from 0.75 to 0.5, which is about 14 or 15,000 a year. It's not a lot of money. But there are several administrative issues it addresses, such as more current reporting, corrections immediately following any distribution that's incorrect. Sometimes it takes 90 days, now it should take no more than 30, provisions such as that.
Thank you.
Yeah, the OML, Oklahoma Municipal League, is the one that kind of fought the battle on this. They felt for many years that the tax commission was overcharging communities for the service. And they didn't feel like there was any legislative ability empowering them to do what they were doing. And so this is all cleanup language and lowering the tax commission's take of the sales tax.
It doesn't change your accounting anyway.
No, sir.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Gary Houk.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
That brings us into reports. Since the mayor is on duty in the ER tonight, he has no report. City manager?
Yes, I just want to report to you that we got our sales tax reports back yesterday afternoon, and we're down another 30,000. So overall, so far this fiscal year, we're down about 12.5%. I think our plan of action at this point, we're reviewing it obviously almost on a daily basis, but the plan of action right now is to stop the CIP expenditures, capital improvements expenditures. Some of the expenditures that you've had are coming out of the non-bonded or the sales tax that has already been accrued through 2006 sales tax election and the 2010 sales tax election. Those expenditures are really not going to be affected because that's not something we can use in the operations. But the current year CIP will be frozen with the exception of the snow plow and the truck that we ordered in August. Yeah, okay. So I do want to report to you that will be delivered in February, hopefully early February, but we know that the truck is here in Oklahoma and is having equipment installed on it so that we can utilize it as a snow plow when needed. The department heads have all submitted cost-cutting measures, a plan to reduce their expenditures, so those will be implemented going forward very quickly. Hopefully, when the next sales tax report comes back, we find out that December was an excellent month, and we'll be able to rebound significantly. But it's a challenge right now. We're nervous, but I will say that I think to some extent, and I'm using hindsight now, but I think we may have reaped the rewards of several big projects, whether it's OG&E power lines coming through Seminole County or whether it's the gas lines that came through Seminole County. from what we can tell, and Jay, you can check me on this, but I think we're right back to about where we were 2 years ago. So it's not a complete shock, but it's uncomfortable. As we go forward and trying to budget for next year, we're going to be much more conservative, especially in our negotiations with our unionized departments. We've got some things that we need to deal with, probably specifically healthcare. We've got to clean that up a lot on the cost side. Other than that, the Snowman Wonderland was a tremendous success. Hopefully you've been able to see some of the data that Bobby Walker generated for the Lions Club. Over 10,000 people rode the tram around our festival, and so you can easily say double that amount walked. So when you're talking about 20,000 visitors, I'm sure that's going to have an impact on the restaurants and the gas stations and people that are traveling through. So we've got a lot of great stories from people that were out of town that had stopped to eat at our restaurants, and they loved our those facilities. And it's a really impressive thing that's happening. Nobody, I don't think any of us when this started really envisioned what was going to ultimately occur. But the fun thing, and what we continue to hear, and Jeff, I know you can echo it as a Lions Club member, but they can go a lot of places and drive through a light festival and be gone, and sometimes it takes up to 2 hours to do that. But something very unique happens when they actually get out of the car with their families and get on a tram or hold hands around the track. It becomes more of an experience rather than a spectator sport. And it's really, the word of mouth is beginning to travel. I don't know how we're going to contain this thing at this point, but we're, thanks to Mike and his crews especially, they do amazing things. They seem to pull it off every year, and I could not be more proud of them. And I just hope that we don't overload them in the coming years. Neil Craig, never ceases to amaze me how he continues to sell those exhibits, and I think we've got some pretty fun things in store coming on the Tourism Council side. So I look for a lot more things to develop out of the Snowman Wonderland, one of which we are beginning discussions between the Urban Renewal Authority, the city, and the American Legion about the American Legion building. If you talk to Mike Grant very long about the Snowman Wonderland, you hear a small, very small, almost inaudible grunt about the storage of those exhibits. And so one of the things that we would like to do is to work with the American Legion, perhaps build them a new building downtown through the Urban Renewal Authority, and basically trade their building on the facility out there by the softball quad for the building downtown. That would, there are several needs right now, one of which is the storage of the Christmas lights. The other is storage for the tractors and things that are utilized on the softball quad. If you've driven by there, you've noticed they have to park outside. And the football facilities, they need more room. So this could be put to good use, and it would certainly be, I would much rather use money rather than build a new metal building out there in our park and use that for storage of Christmas and others. I would much rather use that money to improve downtown and swap for an existing building that's very nice looking. So those things are ongoing. January the 19th will be the annual chamber, and I forget who we've got coming to speak. You remember?
It is the Mayberry deputy, so if you like, Andy Griffith, it's a Barney Fife impersonator, he does their commercials, those kind of things, and, amazing, he spoke at the FOP and Shawnee, and just, they loved him, and so I feel referred, and so, we'll do that, and award Citizen of the Year, and David Warren, and Bill Mueller Awards, and talk about that coming year.
Great. I just now saw Mr. Lee Randall in the back. If you get a chance, pat him on the back. He's doing tremendous work downtown. If you haven't seen what's going on across from the Bank First building, he's got some really nice looking apartment units. Nope, I'm sorry. Extended stay hotel units. Is that a motel? Anyway, go look at it. Looks great. Very impressive. I went by there today. It looks awesome. Congratulations, and thank you for investing in Seminole. That's all I have.
Nothing to report, Mr. President.
An attorney that doesn't want to talk?
It's cold outside, I know people.
All right, remarks and inquiries of council members, Ward 1, Susan Hammond.
Nothing tonight.
The only thing I would say is, I have a question. You know that several years ago, work started. I mean, we have the wonderful work that's just been referred to here that's been done across from the bank, but I'm wondering what is going to happen to the building next to the Homestake Oil Building, the old Buick dealership. There's work started 2 years ago, but it doesn't look like anything else has happened, but the ceiling seems to be falling in even worse, and I'm wondering about that.
I'll have to get a status on that. I do recall the work beginning against our recommendations. The Larry Church bought that building, and I know the work started. I don't have the current status. I'll have to get with Terry Gray on that and see what they're doing.
Ward 2, Gary, Al?
Just like to thank the employees and always the citizens. I mean, Seminole is what it is because of you.
Ward 3, Jeff Griffith.
I'd like to kind of continue on with what Steve said and want to thank all the city staff and really everyone involved with Snowman Wonderland. A lot of volunteers, are required to put that on. And it was just great being out there and hearing stories and just watching the families come out, and whether they're riding or taking the horse carriage or walking, it was fun. I mean, to have people come out. It was great weather this year. Unlike the previous 2 years, we had some nights that were kind of tough, but it was great. And when you top over the hill and pass by the old Armory building and you see all the lights, it's just kind of a wow moment. And I drove out there several nights just to drive by, just to see them, because they really are beautiful. And it takes a lot of effort, and it doesn't go unnoticed, but really do appreciate it. Thanks.
Tim Poplin.
I like the lights on top of the derrick. Are they gonna stay there at the city park? Are they gonna stay there year round?
Are you asking me or Mike?
I'm asking Mike.
I don't know, I don't touch that.
Oh, okay.
I'm retired, that's 6 foot.
Yeah, no, typically we'll leave not the star, but the rest of the lights should be lit. The star, the radio shop goes and takes down and redoes year to
Are
year.
they gonna put them down the rails like they used to be, or just around the two top derrick?
There are, I thought I saw them on last night, so
Light at night.
they
Anyway,
are on the side rails.
Okay.
And those are on,
I had a lot of comments about it.
yeah, those aren't much different than the Snowman Wonderland lights in that they're on ground fault interrupter systems. So anytime it rains or it's heavy dew or even heavy fog, sometimes we'll trip that breaker on that. So What we don't want to have happen is to energize that whole tower and somebody walk by and slap it. So we've got it all on GFIs, and what happens is when that trips, we've got to send somebody out there to flip it.
It looks nice. A lot of people see it when they drive through Seminole.
Yes, they do. It looks great. I've got one other thing.
Yes, sir.
I want to give you guys a bravo. We kind of got a side benefit. You all a couple of years ago voted to hire a track hoe and a track hoe crew, and we've made tremendous strides in eliminating some of the inflow and infiltration into our sewer systems by installing new sewer lines, and a lot of water pressure and water issues have been solved with the water line that we've replaced. And it's been slow going because there are decades of old lines that have been run across these things. So, but one side benefit, and I don't know that we expected this, is that we're able to do work such as what happened in front of the Reynolds Wellness Center. We had a washout during one of the huge rains. The culvert basically collapsed in that thing. And you may have noticed that Strother's got a bump in it right now. And, but we didn't have to hire that out. We were able, with our track hoe crew, to replace that humongous culvert, and they did a fantastic job. I could not be more impressed with what happened out there. Saved us a ton of money. Now, I will say, because you're going to be asked about this, when are they going to pave that back? Well, in my opinion, I know Mike's got the same opinion, it's better for us to have traffic pack that down and repack it, because if we go out there too soon and spend the money to pave that thing, it's going to alligator very quickly, and it'll spald and begin to have major potholes. So it's easier for us at this point to let it breathe and pack, rain and pack, breathe and pack, and just do it. So please be patient with us. We're going to do everything we can to keep it relatively smooth while we're waiting on it to pack down. But we will get in there in a few weeks probably and get that repaved.
Ward 4, Chris Hansen,
Have nothing.
Dee Patterson.
I continue to ask God to bless this great city of Seminole. Continue on. We need, and I ask him for a new high school and a bypass. All right.
I'll second that. There being nothing further, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.